I look and feel like a mess right now, but I'm back in Bath. I arrived last night and I've got one day to pack all the rest of my stuff up into boxes and then my family arrives. It's gonna be really sad to take down my decorations because in terms of decorating a space, having moved houses 4 times since moving to the UK, so once a year, I really need to decorate it heavily to make it feel like home. Like my decorations kind of travel with me, and when I put them all up, I'm like, okay, this is my space. Especially being in student houses that don't necessarily naturally feel like a home. I've had some horrendous packing experiences in my life, being an international student and having to pack everything up and move, and also having like most of my stuff here because I live in between Sweden and Tunisia. Such a mess. Like the amount of all-nighters I've spent packing up my stuff and the amount of crises I had. So I really didn't want it to come to that this time. I've learned all my lessons in terms of everything that can go wrong, because everything that has been able to go wrong has gone wrong for me so far. So I haven't had the best of luck. Time to take down this one. The poster is from Malaga, from one of the nicest museums I've ever been to. I have no clue how I'm gonna transport it or pack it without damaging it. And then the little plant, it was crocheted for my birthday by my flatmate. It's really gorgeous. So these ones I actually found in a little vintage store in Paris. They cost €1.50 each, and they're original copies of 19th century newspapers. So everything is cleared out on the side. Well, pretty much all of the room. I just have my duvet left to take off. This is present state. I'm gonna need to repack these into double wall boxes because in the end required that. It's so weird looking at this and being like, this is basically my whole entire life. Good morning. So I'm at the hotel now. I finished packing up most of my stuff. We just had breakfast. We're gonna go to the pump room, which is kind of like a tea house. And then I'm just gonna show my family, or well, my family's gonna come, but mainly my dad because he hasn't been to Bath before. I'm gonna show him around. We're gonna go look at some shops, go up to campus. So I think it's gonna be really nice. It just feels really weird that this is the actual day where it's happening, because I feel like it's been just this hypothetical big date. This and tomorrow, my graduation, like these 2 days, they just haven't felt real. Like it's really weird that I'm in it right now. I'm slightly nervous about the graduation, to be honest, but I'm gonna try not to think about it too much. We are back. I'm gonna do a little quick outfit change because of how cold and rainy it is, and then we're gonna go and explore.
I do. boyfriend's family is originally from Provence in south of France, so after graduation I went to visit for about 10 days. I've been a few times before, but this time was definitely at a bit more of a slower pace. My boyfriend's friends also came to France to visit on different occasions, so we also spent a lot of time with them, which was really nice. I was having so much incredible food. I had really nice breakfast every day, and I was having so many big, wonderful meals. Outside of eating a lot, I also spent so much time applying for jobs. I wanted to do a gap year originally that didn't work out. So in the summer, I was applying for roles a bit last minute, trying to find something for the autumn. Because I was in a bit of a time crunch, a lot of the time I spent the majority, or at least a big part of my day doing that, but in very wonderful settings. To take breaks and to see more of the nature in the region that I hadn't seen, we went on a lot of hikes. The nature is really different from any other place I've been, and it's so peaceful and majestic to walk in. Obviously from the views over Marseille on the other end, but also just from the smells and the surrounding landscape. We would have to time it for the early evening to avoid the heat of the day, which meant I got to see so many beautiful sunsets over the hills. But that also meant we needed to escape before the sun fully set to not get caught in the dark, so it was always a bit of a rush towards the end. But yeah, so beautiful and such a nice way to spend my time there.
I'm currently hiding out underneath a rock. I'm not swimming unlike the people I'm with because this is a rock beach. As someone who has grown up on sand beaches on the other side of the Mediterranean, going down to get to this spot is a feat. I literally think I'm gonna die every other second, even though people living here just run down like in 2 seconds. So instead, I am reading this book, In the Long Run, by Jonathan White. It's about how time interacts with politics. It's very eloquent and well written so far. I'm not too far into it, but it is very good. So yeah, I'm gonna keep on reading and I'll go into it.
It's a nice little passage.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Alors, il y a du fromage là-bas, servez-vous.
Go down again. 1, 2, 3, and then custom setup, and then you can make a new one. And then you'll just
So today is Wednesday, I believe. I've actually lost track of the days. Woke up at 7, went on a run, which is not characteristic for me, especially not in the morning. It was very, very nice. It was really beautiful. We went down to the beach and then Paul, who was coming with me, he swam. Other than that, I've mainly done some work today and applied to jobs. Although I'm really struggling to set boundaries in terms of my time and in terms of how much I invest in it. I feel like there are applications, especially ones with like loads of application questions. Yeah, ones that make you kind of go the extra mile outside of cover letters and that kind of stuff, that just are so incredibly time consuming. I feel like eventually I've just spent so many hours on one application and I'm still not done. And so I don't really feel like I've done much with my day, even though I've put in so many hours, because I haven't even submitted anything. So yeah, I feel like I need to structure my expectations around it more clearly, because otherwise I just don't end up feeling happy about the work I've done, and I don't end up enjoying like my vacation, even though it's not full vacation either. So yeah, I'm gonna work on that. Applying to jobs, like it's just the kind of thing that you can do indefinitely. It's hard to know when you're doing enough. Past 10 days, I think it's definitely been a balancing act of trying to work as much as possible and apply to as many jobs as possible, especially because I'm about to go to Hawaii in a couple of hours, which is mad to say out loud. With that, like, I really wanted to do as much as possible before I go, especially because September is around the corner. Well, it's mid-July right now, but September, when I want it to be starting, I feel like it's really approaching in a sense of like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find a job now that starts in time for that, which is okay. I've kind of internally accepted, but I really want to get it sorted in the next month. So far so good though. I think I've been good at not stressing and just kind of accepting that as much as I can put in as much work as possible into it. It's out of my control and I'm just letting it be until it works out eventually. But yeah, I have 2 deadlines coming up that I need to do some work on tonight before I leave, and then unfortunately probably on the plane, which is going to be so annoying. It's mad to think that I don't know what my life is going to look like in even a month, in terms of like, do I have a job by then? Am I coping with not having a job? It's weird. I feel like I'm very much in a liminal time period where I don't have anything tying me down to anything concrete in the sense of like my future plans. And I think it's fun, especially in the summertime,
it's not something that's causing me stress. It's more just that I really feel like I don't really have anything super concrete to ground me and my identity around in terms of what my life looks like or is gonna look like. But it's exciting, it's a fun time. It's been, again, like so nice to be able to spend it here. I really want to kind of enjoy it and appreciate how lucky I feel to be able to come here several times and live like local. I'm very lucky that my boyfriend is from here. After over 24 hours of flying, which I've never done anything close to before, we arrived in Hawaii on the island of Kauai, which we spent 1 week on, and then we moved on to some other islands for another week. But we started off on the first day with going around the coastline, looking out over the viewpoints and the immense wealth of nature there, which was completely breathtaking. I've never seen anything quite like it. Currently on Mars. After going to the place that literally looked like a completely different planet, we went straight on another hike on the Terracotta Earth through quite a tropical forest and saw some even more stunning views. It was so breathtaking. I felt so small in comparison to everything that was surrounding us. To be honest though, it was not the easiest path for me. I mean, you saw me do a couple of hikes in France, but those were the most beginner level hikes imaginable. This one was definitely a little bit more challenging. I mean, probably not that challenging to most people, but as someone who really struggles with steep terrain or just like terrain that I'm not used to, it was definitely out of my comfort zone a little bit, but it was so incredibly worth it.
That's what it sounds like when the wind blows really strong.
On the second day, we did a boat ride, which was also amazing. I didn't film it because I didn't want to damage the camera, but we saw spinning dolphins, which was the cutest things I've ever seen. I also tried to snorkel, but also really struggled. I think this is going to be a common theme throughout this, or well, throughout any interactions with nature that I have. It was quite scary. It sounds a bit weird to say, but in general, being out there, I think watching the sea life, swimming, going into the entry point of a cave, all gave me so much respect for the ocean and how powerless we are in comparison to it. It sounds so incredibly obvious to say, but I hadn't experienced and really taken that in on a physical level. Speaking of sea life, I also saw sea turtles for the first time. They were also so cute. It was also just a feeling of like so many things that existed in my imagination or in the media actually being real and seeing them for myself and almost being physically surprised by that. But anyway, the third day we did some beach hopping. We went around the island and saw a lot of the different types of beaches there. My favorite beach by far was this little small one where I sat and meditated. It was really quiet and peaceful. I was sitting under this tree and it was so pretty. The day after that, my boyfriend and I went to a little shopping place. We got dropped off into this pretty little village and went around, grabbed some food, and realized that we were essentially stranded. We thought that it was going to be realistic to walk back, but it definitely wasn't. And we didn't have any data, but somehow we managed to find our way back and survive, and saw a lot of gorgeous flowers on the way at least. And then for the rest of the couple of days, we spent half days at two different beaches. This one was quite close to where we lived and had incredibly turquoise water. I was staying there and reading for a lot of hours. It was a bit too dangerous to actually swim. Surfing was the only thing that was possible. we went on another hike. We watched the waterfalls before flying to Oahu to spend the 2 days in Honolulu. This is the view, and then you can see the ocean in the distance, which is where we just were now. The tiles and the ground of the main parade is so pretty because it glitters like little shells. So beautiful. Morning, it is 10 to 9. We got up at 7 a.m. to go to the beach. Before we have to check out, I'm currently eating this, which I don't remember what it's called, tapioca something, and it's incredible. It didn't taste at all like I pictured it. I kind of pictured it like a chia seed bowl. Reading this book about populism, which is really interesting actually. However, it does favor populism, or it seems like the authors slowly is introducing the argument that they're in support of Trump and other groups, which I don't know how I feel about, but I think it's good to learn about different perspectives. Yeah, I think we're gonna go in the water in a little bit.